Okay, what's up, everyone? Happy New Year to you guys. It's your girl Rossie. I'm back with another show, you guys. This is episode 37 of Rossie's Clubhouse. And just so you guys know who don't know, I'm Rossie McCree. I'm the host of Rossie's Clubhouse. This is a Sacramento based podcast. And what we do here is we focus on interviews in all areas of entertainment. Once a month, though, I like to reach outside of Sacramento, outside of the state of California. And I like to bring in someone that is from another state or even from Southern Cali. And the guest I have tonight, his name is Keybeaux. He's out of Houston. He is R&B. He is rap. He is so many things, so many talents. This young man is, and I cannot wait for you guys to meet him and discuss Keybeaux. All right, so let's welcome Keybeaux to the show.
What's
Right
up?
now, Right now, Keybeaux's camera is out. It will be back on, so no worries. But right now, Keybeaux, say what's up to everyone.
What's going on, y'all? Rossie's. Oh, we about to get into it. Rossie's Clubhouse, Keybeaux, H-Town, Sacktown. Let's go.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's see. What's up, JoJo? What's up? So Joanne is she's been with the show since day one. She's always in the comments you guys know Joanne. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you for being here. Anyway, so how I found Keybeaux is this. So you guys remember I interviewed Antonio Leaks, okay? And Antonio Leaks is an actor here in Sacramento, writer. He's a little bit of everything as well. But I come to find out he was this rap artist. He did music, and he was just, I didn't know that. So we're talking, and he's telling me, I have a friend. His name is Keybeaux. You should check him out of Houston. Like, this guy's great. So you know me, I go on their page, I start looking at things, and I find him, and his music is amazing. I mean, he's doing rap, he's doing R&B. Keybeaux, when did you start the music journey? When did that start for you?
Age 15. I was cut from the basketball team, and so I had just a semester to just fool around, and so figured out how to hook up a microphone to the computer, and then thus the journey began. Age 15.
Well, you guys, in the description of the video, Keybeaux was on a segment called Make It on CNBC. And so he is a very well-known Fiverr artist. And what do you write, you produce, you do many things on Fiverr. Can you tell them a little bit about that journey?
Sure. When back in 2011, I was creating a mixtape and I needed artwork. And so somebody told me about checking out this website called Fiverr, where you pretty much pay $5 and then somebody will do the work. So I found an artist that did it. Didn't even think about a musician selling their skills on there. And then years later, I saw that there was people singing and rapping. And I was like, on that same website to get artwork. So then I was like, man, if I ever get on this thing, I'd kill it. Like, there's no way I wouldn't kill it.
Right.
And my job led me to a place where I had to like get some more side money, income. So I took it and I put up a profile, didn't get any bites, but then I started to slowly get people wanting me to write a hook. And I was like, oh, I could do that. Write a verse. I could do that. And then my job let me go. And I said, all right, I'm in the interim. I could either like try to do this full time as a songwriter, rapper, or I could, and then try to find another job. But what happened was, it was great. It worked. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much how it went down. But I've been making music the whole time. I just never thought of it selling my services as a songwriter to the world in that capacity. I never thought about it like that.
Speaking of making music, so like he says, he has doing this for some time. I think one of my favorite projects, I have it written down here. It's back 2019, Little Shop of Keybeaux. Right. And I'm listening to that. Elevate. I mean, Hot Coffee, Find Me, Dan and Phil Are Better. That's that's an odd one. That was
Yeah,
really good. Where did that come from?
the Dan and Phil Are Better.
Yeah.
So Dan and Phil Are Better was actually a song I did via Fiverr. That was something
Okay.
that a YouTuber wanted me to make a joke song, and he was like, "There's these other YouTubers that I'm wanting to say that they're better than me. So they're
Okay.
called Dan and Phil." So I had to look them up and make a song. And then he
Okay.
was like, "You should put it on Spotify." And I was like, at the time I was a SoundCloud thinking.
Okay.
I was like, how you do that? He said, "Figure it out. You can make money from it." So I uploaded it, and then I was making money. I was like, dang, because again, I didn't know that process. It was new to me. I'm from pushing CDs and then also uploading on SoundCloud, so I really didn't know the process. Now everybody knows, but 2016, 2017, I didn't really know. So it was a
Right.
joke song that I got to learn how YouTubers monetize things, how popularity works in music.
Right.
So I just learned a lot from that. So that happens to be in my catalog, and it kind of sticks out, but at the same time, the story behind it is kind of cool.
It is a cool story hearing it. But I thought the song was really good. I loved No Love.
No love, yeah.
That's such a beautiful song. And
No
what I
love.
love is I love how you'll have a really nice, hip hop song, and then the next one will be something slow and
Right,
something romantic and something
right,
for the ladies, and just,
right.
but that song I really enjoyed. Also, Crawling,
Crawl.
Big Moves. And then if we jump to 2025, Magic.
Right.
Now, are you a feature? That's you, right?
Well, that's a feature. So I've only
Okay.
released 2 albums, but a lot of these songs are features, and I
Okay.
get excited. Ashley O is an
Yes.
artist that consistently reaches out for a collaboration, and it's really cool. I really love pop R&B. That's R&B, soul, gospel, jazz. That's like technically my foundation of entering music through my dad. So I
Okay.
kind of like segued into rap after I heard the rhythms of it, as a kid. But it was all R&B foundation. And
Okay.
anybody who really loves hip hop, I
Yeah.
mean, to be honest with you, actually love R&B too. You don't
Right.
chop up the samples of anything other than soul. Like you
Right.
don't, you know what I'm saying? And then you always
Yep.
look for a hook that's kind of melodic. You connected to R&B. So I always liked and also my inception to music as a child. I saw the New Jack Swing in real time. So I got to see the merging, and that's the foundation of how I even got into it. So yeah.
I love that. And a lot of your collabs or your features that you're on with other people, everyone is so artistically different. And I was telling you, it's refreshing and it's not the same thing. It's just
Yeah.
really talented artists that you've made music with. And you guys can go on Spotify and you'll just look in Keybeaux. He comes right up, and you'll be able to see and or listen to
Right.
what I'm talking about. And because of you, a lot of the artists that you're with, they're so good. I went and followed them, and then I'll find another one, and you're on someone else's song and following them. So everyone is like, it's really, really, really good.
Oh man.
Like I was saying, you guys, he is a writer, composer,
Mhm.
videographer. He does
Mhm.
editing, all that. And since we're talking about the Dan and Phil Are Better,
Mhm.
and it was a YouTube thing, I do want to mention that I found on your Fiverr account, your page,
Right.
you did one for Victory Road for Pokemon. It was
That's right.
isn't that a, yep.
Yep.
You did one, PUBG.
Yep. Oh
That
geez.
one was really, really good. I love that. And then you did a bit commercial.
Yeah, the big commercial. That was a trip. Yeah. That was a trip. Yeah.
So because of what you do on Fiverr, you're now getting into commercial work, or have you been doing commercial work? Because that's a good ad.
Yeah, it's through Fiverr. I always have this analogy as an artist because when I was really trying to go hard on shows out here in Houston, there was one show I was trying to get on, but you had to be at the spot at like 8 a.m. on a Sunday. And
Okay.
you pretty much first come, first serve, and you got to bust through the door, and then you got to freestyle to show who you really got it. And I kept like not being able to get it. So the analogy is you can try to bust through this crowded door, or you can go to this other side that nobody's even touching. And Fiverr allowed me to be in a space where it wasn't many rappers, artists at the time that I signed up and got on. It was kind of like we don't have that many artists, and then so I was there, and I kind of treaded a pathway, and I had to create a blueprint. I really didn't know, and I didn't know if it was even cool to be like I'm an artist for hire or freelance. I didn't really understand it because I always thought I was supposed to be signed, and I didn't really know. So I got to relearn and rethink, and now it's very commonplace for people to be self-employed, and it's very commonplace. But at the time, I really didn't have a blueprint on how this thing works. But it doesn't take away from my artistry to say I'm a commercial artist. It's all a part of it. It's all a big thing, and I get to fulfill this idea of making songs and putting it out and working with amazing people. So yeah, but that's how I feel. I feel like Fiverr allowed me to see art in a different way and monetize it in a different way, and then fund the music that I want to make too. So
how did CNBC find you? That was a great little interview that they did with you.
That was crazy. They actually did. So somebody within Fiverr that had a connect that reached out to me, said they want to do a piece on you, and I was like, cool. So they did an article first, so it's on CNBC website, and then they said they want to come to your house and they want to check out your money. And I had to check with the wife. I was like, listen, before you say no, they want to just check this out, and it was like that was kind of a hard sell because very private, but I was like, I think it's going to do really good, and what I hoped that it did exactly what I was hoping, because I was hoping that I got to meet different people in different walks and then network. It wasn't like look at me. It was more like this is what I do. If there's other people that are in this space or even want to attempt to even do this, this is for y'all. And I got to meet a lot of people because of it. And yeah, it was pretty incredible to have them with the camera in my house. I'm like, man, this is crazy.
That was pretty big. That was when I saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. That's pretty dope. And then to see how you were talking about how you go about, like, okay, if someone hires you to do music, how you would go about, what is it? 3 different, you could take 3 words and get a beat out of it.
Of course,
and then, so how does that go when someone reaches out to you? And we'll just talk about that for a little bit, and we'll get back into it, because you do make music. I mean, that's what you do, is you make music, but making music for other people.
Yeah.
How do you go about doing that? What's the most challenging project, if you've had any?
Yeah, the thing is, it's all a conversation. Music is a conversation. So a lot of times there's I love the process. Let me state, I love the process of making art, making music. So I'll never run out of ideas because I just love the bones of it. That's why I watch on YouTube how they make a song. Like I'll never get tired of watching that. But a lot of times I have to understand what they're attempting to do or say, but I never really focus on the outcome. Like if they say I want to go viral, if I want to hit, and I'm kind of already tuned out. I'm like, okay, that can't really produce anything, because if you look on the Billboard, if you're attempting to go Billboard, what does a lot of those songs have in common? If you can't tell me, then I don't know what you want, because a lot of them are varied, and a lot of them, they fluctuate in tone, and so a lot of times they don't really know. And I obsess over music, so I'm supposed to be the conduit to get you to the end goal. But the main thing is you want to be effective with your message. It's never a better art or better song. It really doesn't exist. It's really more effective with the way that you communicate. And it's a lot of times it's like a song and dance of prying questions to see what they're trying to do. And then also my portfolio allows you to see what I already do. So that way you don't come to me saying, I want you a song like Whitney Houston mixed with Beethoven. And it's like, bro, come on, dog. You see me rapping. What we talking about? But but for real, like in somebody's mind, like sometimes they really be trying to cram everything that's great, and they say this gotta be perfect. Beethoven on the keys, Whitney Houston vocals. It's like that doesn't even go. What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? So, right. So yeah, but a lot of times that's the challenging part. That like, I know what you're trying to say. What if I just do what I was already gonna do like this? And they're like, that's fire. So then, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's really hard. It's just a lot of questioning and then like going back and forth. But that's probably the hardest process of making it, is just asking the questions and figuring out what they're trying to say. Mm-hmm.
I love when you were talking about your baby, and you were saying that you'll be watching Mickey Mouse with them, and you hear you hear certain sounds, and you're sitting there putting it together in your head. Like that's how much into music, like how your mind works when you hear something. It's like that. It's always something in your mind where I can make this or I can do this. You did mention your dad, though. Was your dad, was he an artist? Like, do you come from this?
Well, my dad is a pharmacist and my mom's a pharmacist. So science people
Okay.
birth a
Okay.
musician. You know we clashed. They said this music, what we finna do with that? Like that's cute. They rock with it, but it's cute. But like, what's your
Okay.
plan? What's your plan B? And
Right.
that's cool. And I get it. I totally get it now. But we
Right.
clash because I'm gonna go do a show, and they're like, "But you got an F." I was like, "But I'm finna go
Right.
do a show. We'll talk about this later."
Okay.
So yeah, it was a lot of that, but it's science, and I get it. I had a lot of friends who had science parents when they wanted
Okay.
to pursue the arts, and
Okay.
but my grandfather is actually a musician, and
Okay.
played in jazz bands in New Orleans. He taught, so it skipped the generation. You know what I'm saying? Nobody,
Right. Right.
none of my parents' generation really pursued it, and so now it's me, and that's just, I guess that's how it goes. I don't know.
So your earliest, like when you came out with your earliest project,
Yes,
when you decided I'm gonna pursue music, how old were you? You said you're 15 when you start writing, but like
15.
professionally, like
Well,
15, like
I created a mixtape at 15. Yeah, so
okay.
yeah, but and I passed it around to friends at school. But I want to say that's when it actually started. I mean,
Okay.
it's hard to say when this is now I'm professional because I learned how to mix on a
Okay.
little board that had a microphone. I had to sit there and there was no Google. It sounds crazy. It wasn't really a way to Google this stuff or Reddit, or I
Right.
had to
Right.
figure it out on my own. And I
Right.
learned how to mix, and I learned how to make beats much later.
Right.
Only out of necessity. Say necessity is the mother of invention, as say. So I had to learn how to do it. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is fire. And then I needed a guitarist on the song. And the
Okay.
guitarist came to my crib when I was living with my friend. It was kind of in the hood. And he was all bougie. He was like, man, I need this plug. I need that plug. And I'm like, man, let me go get a cheap guitar. I'll figure it out. And so I learned how to play guitar out of necessity. I learned how to play piano just because I wanted to. So all these things is just, that's why I'll never run out of things to be better at with music. Music is an endless pursuit. Even Prince was still, studying his bandmates how to do certain licks. Like you don't ever say I reached the best, I'm the best. That's why the conversation of who's the greatest rapper alive is
Right.
it's kind of crazy to even, because it should never be answered. You can only say who influenced you probably the strongest, but
Right.
it's never really a best. It's just art that it affects you, but I'll never run out of things to learn in music, even sharpening the pen, even sharpening the production. It's just an endless thing. Yeah.
So speaking of who influenced and all that,
Mhm.
do you have influences that you grew up with that, I want to be like him, or do you have that artist
Oh,
that
of
you looked
course.
up
I mean,
to?
there's a lot, but if I would have pinned, so there's people that I love, and then there's people that I actually studied. And the
Okay.
way I differentiate it, people that you studied, you can rap a verse by them on the spot because you just played it over and over and over. The the people that I really studied, and I want to give props, Devin the Dude from Houston. He's
Oh my gosh,
one of
right?
the greatest. And
Yes.
I met him. I worked at a record store, and I was at home, and it was like my real name is Mike. He's like, Mike, Devin is here. Devin is it. I was like, I grabbed my little phone, my flip phone, and I took a picture. I still got his blurry, but I was like, because he sang, he
Right.
rapped, and he
Right.
story told like
Right.
insane. He was also behind the boards, and he was working with Dre, and he was from
Yes.
Houston. I was just like, and I
Yes.
listened to all his albums, just kind of like I drifted away. I didn't even feel like I was in Houston. I just felt like I was just in a Devin's world, and he
Okay.
was just so dope. Another artist I
Right.
studied was Twista. I studied him
Yes. Yes. Yes.
religiously because I never heard anybody chop syllables so clearly.
Okay.
When I heard him on Do or Die Po Pimpin', I literally
Oh my gosh.
there's certain artists I get chills when I
Yes.
remember my first hearing, and that was one of them.
Yes.
Well, it might be broke and collecting no dough from tips, but I
Right.
spit more game than a mouthful of poker chips to get them with them open. I said, oh, I
Right.
was like, he wasn't just rapping fast, he was saying so much, and
Yes.
I was like, yeah, so I just get chills, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I felt that same way about artist The Brat. The Brat was
Oh my
another
gosh. Right.
person.
Yeah.
I love her aesthetics. I love how versatile she was.
Right.
Mystical, Eminem.
Yes.
There's a lot of artists that I just, and I mean, of course, Tupac and Biggie. I mean, of course,
Yeah,
like,
they're always gonna, and that's another
yeah,
thing. They're always. You don't even have to mention, of course,
yeah, you don't gotta mention
of
them. You know what I'm
course. You don't.
saying?
You know that.
The, Nas as well. Like, I used to
Yes.
really be tripped out about his vocabulary. I was like, I heard him on a Street Dreams remix, and he
Oh
said the
yeah.
word
Yeah.
I love that song. And he said, blasphemy, using Nas' name in vain. Some
Yes.
claim supreme being. And I was like, I told my dad, I was like, what does blasphemy mean? I didn't even know what that meant. So I just get, so the It Was Written album, I studied that religiously. And so but the thing is, Outcast, the thing is, I keep, every year I keep like getting excited to hear what a new artist's take on hip hop is, because I heard a phrase like, you with culture, you inherit culture and you also contribute to it. So it doesn't really end. And it never ends, even to this day. Like, I still get excited when I hear a newer artist drop something that they interpret. It's just fire. Tizo Touchdown was one of my favorite artists.
Okay.
So it just never ends. It never ends, but it's always a pursuit to, like, you study the past, and then when you study the past well enough and you're an artist, you know exactly where we need to go sonically, because you already taken it and you're subconsciously like, this is where I think we should take it. So yeah, I never get tired of the new stuff, the old stuff, and even going back to preceding hip hop. It's so beautiful. Art is beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. I felt that way when I first heard Yums Awkward, who is a Sacramento artist. He's out of Carolina. And when I first heard him, he had that motion.
Yeah.
And the song is just dope. It's a banger. But then you hear his other music.
Right.
This kid's on a whole nother wavelength. He's on a whole nother level. You don't know what you're going to get from him, but I'm so excited when I see him drop something on Instagram or whatever. It's like, what's he making? And also, I have to say, shout out to my little cousin. Most people don't know Malachi. Malachi, he's under Book Malachi right now, but this kid was, I think Malachi started writing when he was 12. But anyways, he came on another show that I had. He was 17. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. His music is and was amazing at 17. 17. I'm telling you, look up Book Malachi on Instagram, you guys. Go check out Malachi.
Yeah.
He is absolutely amazing. I'm telling you guys, this kid is blowing up. He's amazing. But when I heard him, and, you know, I moved away from my family. So his mom and me were first cousins. So I didn't know my cousin's kids when we had kids. You know, I lived in the Northwest. So when I first saw him was on Instagram. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my little cousin. But you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh. But then when you hear the music, it's like, where did that come from? Like, just amazing. So check out Book Malachi. But I wanted to mention that. But it just goes to what you say about when you hear something fresh and new, and you hear the young people's take on what we did, you know, or something old or whatever. It's like I said, it sounds so great. I'm just a lover of music.
Yes.
And I love all types of music, and hip hop is probably my favorite. Love rap, love hip hop. And when I hear someone new, you know, come out, I feel the same way. I do want to touch on the fact that when you are writing for people, there are certain things that you just will not do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Tell us about that.
For sure. Well, one way that of artistry is you can, you know, when you're in pursuit to figure out who am I, what is my sound, a lot of times you can figure it out based off of what you don't do, what you won't say, where you won't go. It's kind of like deductive art. I don't know, like chipping away a block to make art. You're taking things away to reveal what it is. So a lot of profanity. I discovered that I didn't want to cuss because I was doing a show years ago and I didn't know my little brother was going to be there. And I was like, get the F up, get drunk. Because I always do that at these bars. And I look in the audience and I don't cuss in front of anybody and my family. And then I saw him. I was like, oh, little bro, I didn't mean to. He said, nah, you do your thing. I was like, that's incongruent to what I present to the world. So I was like, I know I'm creative enough to maneuver around that and be, you know, suggestive or I can hit you so hard without even doing that. So that was my own personal take. I don't think it's I listen to music with profanity. I don't think it's a worse thing or a bad thing. It's nothing like that. It's just a personal taste because I like to push myself and it's not my thing, but I don't frown upon profanity. It's nothing like that. You know, because I think a worse word you can say is calling somebody stupid over like profanity. You know what I'm saying? Like to make anybody feel small is actually worse than any profanity you could say. So, that was my personal choice, and
I love that. I love that. I loved because even before me even knowing that,
Right.
the music on your page. I mean, just on your page alone. I mean, you got music that's really good, and I didn't hear not one profanity.
Right.
And you're playing around with words, and I love
Right.
that you can flip words, the way you play around with words, and I can't
Thank
think of I won't even attempt to. Okay, but it's the I'll talk about, so you'll know what I'm talking about.
you. For sure.
The second video that I put up, not the first one where you're in the red light, which was dope. I love
Oh, for
that one.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
The second one that I put up, and you're just standing on this plank or whatever,
Yes.
and you're just rapping. You're just going. And I must have listened to that so many times because I love the fact that I could read out the words and hear what you're
Yes.
saying. I'm laughing because he just put that with that. And
Yes.
I loved it. And it's like you said, you can suggest something and I know what you mean, but you didn't say it. But
Yeah.
that one was, I want, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. No, I'm grateful that you can acknowledge that. The first time I even thought of that idea, I was working at the record store, like I said, and Chameleonaire dropped his second album and he walked in.
Oh, wow.
And I was
A
like,
millionaire?
Chameleonaire, he walked in the store
Okay.
and he just grabbed all his CDs and I was like, that's freaking Chameleonaire. I was like stalking and I was like, that's Chameleonaire. And then somebody came and bought his album because his second album, he didn't put any profanity on it. There was no parental sticker. And at the time,
Wow.
that was very odd. So a customer came in and was like, this is the new Chameleonaire? I was like, yeah. I said, what a custom version? I said, that's just the version. He's like, man, he was like, I was like, what? You didn't even listen to it.
Oh, wow.
And so then I was thinking that was another thing. And another thing, when me and my rap group had to go put our album on like the radio or something, they asked for a clean version. And I was like, man, we got to go back and edit this. I was like, so a part of my subconscious was like, bro, just skip all that. Just do everything you need to not say a word that is that, but like tiptoe around it. And it'll be like a fun game for people to even figure out what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like Britney Spears, If You Seek Amy, like those type of little things, because when somebody broke.
He'll be right back, guys. He'll be right back. Anyways, what do you guys think about him? Isn't he amazing? He's great. If you guys, and look, I think I have a video. Let me see. Oh my gosh, let me see.
They can't hold me back.
This is the box. This is the dark box right here,
Yes.
right here. Keybeaux.
Yes.
Keybeaux. Gosh, I've been saying that.
It's cool.
Keybeaux, right here. Cool. I was like, please let that camera come on so they can see you.
Yes.
Yep. Sorry, guys. It's live, and when it's live, things happen. But introducing Keybeaux. So this is who we've been talking to, and he'll be right back too. Okay. He's out in Houston, and it's kind of late there, so I appreciate him coming in and joining us for our first show back after the new year. And I really hope that you all had a wonderful new year. I know I did. I didn't go out. I didn't drink. I actually worked New Year's Eve, worked pretty late New Year's Eve. And then I came home. I think, had a little cook off with a friend, and had some what I have some wine. I had some wine. I had a Coppola director's cut, really good wine, guys, great wine. Had that, and I probably was asleep right after the ball dropped. I was done. I was tired. It was a busy season for us, so I was just tired. But I'm happy you guys are here to join me again. Yeah. This is Keybeaux. He's out of Houston. He is an amazing artist, and we were talking about we were talking about so much. I can't even.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Go ahead,
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, it was
it's fun.
Basically just talking about ways to maneuver artistically around certain words, certain themes. Another thing that I avoid is just anything that's too derogatory towards women, violence. Because when you're contributing art, you think it's just a song and you want to go viral and you want to get, man, you can contribute. You might contribute to something toxic that just infects people's lives. And I've seen it firsthand, the soundtrack behind, bad behavior. So I just never want to contribute to that. You know what I'm saying? I've done it in my youth trying to figure out who I was. I'm like, nah, you don't need to do it. You know what I'm saying? But never judge on art, but that's just my personal thing,
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of Houston, how was the music scene out there? How was the rap scene? Just and not even just rap, R&B, pop. How was the scene out there in Houston?
At this time, or like growing up?
Just growing up, because let's put it like this: you're from Houston, and we know a lot of you had major artists that came up out of Houston. But where are you guys at right now?
Yeah, I'm in Upper Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
The music, is it, do you still have a lot of great artists that are coming out there? I mean, you are, but
Yeah.
like you're Devin the Dudes, and do
Yeah.
you have like artists like that coming out of
Oh,
Houston?
for sure. The
Okay.
thing, it depends on the time frame because there was a period earlier on, like especially in the 2000s, you
Okay.
would go out the city. You go to Dallas. You would go maybe to Austin to get your name buzzing. Because at one point it did feel like if you're not clicked up with the right people, it just won't blow. I was in this different circuits doing open mics, doing little shows here and there, and I would see the same kind of group of artists and people, and we were just trying to get our name on there. This is prior to YouTube and just doing it yourself.
Okay.
Beat King, RIP. He definitely took like going up north and going to Prairie View and going to colleges. There was always ways you had to do it, go around it, because once you got popping outside of the city, then you get on the radio and then it will work. Chamillionaire and Paul Wall kind of did the same thing.
Okay.
So it kind of felt like that. Like you had to find a way to get your name going in other means to even get on the radio. So,
Right.
but yeah, it's a little different now because you got your phone. You can literally get
Right.
straight to your people. So, but yeah, I
Right.
think that's how the scene was, and I think for a long time that's how it's been.
Right. Do you miss those old days? Do you miss the old days of how we went about making music, the whole studio thing, bringing the the instruments, all of that
Mhm.
in the studio? Like right now, like you said, you can just do that with a computer. You
Right.
can. Do you miss that?
Nah, I wouldn't say I miss it because I have it with me. It's a part of me. So I have
Okay.
an experience that many won't have, and that
Right.
gives me the upper hand in some categories. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's kind of the thing about like experiences that are bygone. Like they're not here, but utilize what you've experienced. Like for instance, when I went to TSU, Texas Southern University,
Okay.
we had to like freestyle and battle on campus, and that
Okay.
was really where I got my chops in like writing, because they will embarrass you. A stranger will embarrass you. They'll say boo, or they'll rap over you. So I'm just like, it
Wow.
don't matter how many followers you got, because that wasn't the thing. You really had to come with something clever. And
Right.
so I had to go back to my little dorm and be like, man, I'm gonna write this. I'm gonna go harder. So all of those little moments really made me stronger. So everything is like a chapter that you got to just, or Pokemon cards you collect. Like you just got to collect
Right.
them. So although
Right.
the studio experiences are gone, I have them, and I'm
Right.
just colder at knocking things out faster. And I understand like all of that. So I don't technically miss them because more can get done now.
Okay.
But I
Right.
got them with
Right.
me. I got them with me,
Right.
so I'm good. Yeah.
When you're writing for, because I mean, when you're making music for yourself and you're not worrying about other people and doing
Mhm.
that, what's your process like? Are you in the studio all the time? Do you kind of just, do you have a moment where you just need a time to think and come up with this album? Like, how is your process?
It varies. Like for the albums that I personally did, I actually reached out to Justin Richburg, who's a
Okay.
very popular artist,
Okay.
and I actually got the artwork done before I even started the album because it always inspired me. So I printed out and I look at it and what does this album say? What am I trying to say on there? And then I would write backwards because it's cool to see the art before it's done. And then I come up with song titles, and then I just have a personal diary, video
Okay.
diary, talk to myself often because you want to check in with yourself, because a lot of what we do when we're on social media, we want to make sure we present ourselves a certain way, say the right
Right.
thing, and
Yeah.
that's not true. Like we need to be able to have a space to be raw and also not right. Like we need to be able to say something that's technically not right, just so you can get it out and be like you can process it. And that's pretty much where I get a lot of the writing happens outside of here. This is where
Okay.
you experiment. I play on the keys a little bit, come up
Okay.
with a melody on my phone, but all the writing happens outside the studio.
Okay.
Because when you write, you're like I said, it's a conversation, and every song is really supposed to be a dialogue. Like when I think of like a song like Some Type of Way, that was what people were saying before the song existed. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
you get your songs from conversations. I heard Sam Cooke, a video. Sam Cooke said he just listens to people talk. Well, when he was alive, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
he said it the other day, and he was pretty much saying, listen to people talk, and you get songs like that. And that's when people hear it, they connect to
Right.
it. They're like, oh yeah,
Right.
that's real. I feel that. So yeah,
And we're talking about like 7 seconds in 2020. That
yeah,
was
seven, yeah,
okay. 7 seconds
mm-hmm.
automatic. It was it chasing sun or just
Jason
chasing,
Sunset,
waiting.
yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty dope too. I listened to that today. I mean, I have
Oh man, thank
goodness.
you.
Let's see, the breakup. Love that. Oh, Tom Cruise with Maven Gray.
Oh yeah, Maven Gray.
That
Yeah,
one's
yeah.
pretty cool. That one, I
Yeah.
ran into that one too as well. When you do features, how do you go about you picking someone or them picking you?
Yeah.
Do you know them? Do you guys, do you go to their shows? Like, how does that come about? Because you have so much music with so many people. How did that come about?
Well, that one I've known him for a long time. So he sent me the
Okay.
song, and then I kind of find out what he's saying. And he usually they don't have to tell me. I just sometimes I do, but I like to find out what do I think would sound dope on this song. Not just me, because I have to. It's something about the ego of me saying I'm about to kill this song. Nah, a listener from overseas is gonna hear this and they don't know that you're trying to kill it. They want to hear a good
Okay.
song. So a lot
Okay.
of times if it involves me to pull back or like, kind of I just really listen to it as a fan and see what I feel could be added, not what's missing, but what could be added. And that's how I approach
Right.
it. Where does my voice fit into this? Is it
Right.
singy? Is it rappy? Is it fast rap? Is it bars? But always the song always is supposed to come first before anything, before Keybeaux, before the ego. Is just the song. Because
Right.
yeah. So but
What are
how I
you
approach it,
working?
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's how I approach it. I just listen to it and
Okay.
then say what sounds like it needs to go in it. Yeah.
What are you working on now? Like, do you
Mm-hmm.
have do you have singles? Do you have albums? Is there a project that you're working on now?
Right. So yeah, there's a project I'm working on now. I've just been writing and recording and making beats. A lot of it's going to be released on an app called the Outlet app, which is going to be something I'll be talking about more and really, really soon. It's really exciting. Shout out to my friend Joey Cole, and it's for artists to release their music to own, ownership and just it's a
Wow.
more powerful way to monetize your music that you made. And I'll definitely talk more about it, but it's so incredible to have something like the Outlet app. But I have tons of music that I'm excited to drop, me personally, and it's either me making the beat or my brother. Like I love when I do it like that because it's kind of like it's just us. It's just me and him or him. We cooked. I love seeing how Timberland used to do that. I love seeing how Ryan Leslie used to do that. I love seeing how Prince did that. Like every idea from the sounds you hear in the background to the vocals I just love being an all-encompassed artist. Like that's
Right.
but I love featuring. I love that. But
Yeah,
that's when I
your features are great. I mean,
oh thank you.
you are killing their songs, okay?
And that's a good thing. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's
We
fire.
understand you are killing their songs, okay?
For
So the
sure.
features are great, and like I said, everything is so different because what I like about you is you don't just feature on this type of music or that type
Right.
of music. It could be something instrumental, it could be something classical, it could be I heard a lot of different. I've heard techno. I mean, I've heard a
Yeah.
lot of different features that you've done with these artists, and it's just an array. So I can't even put you in a box. But I will tell you, he is R&B, and then rap comes in with that. Because like you said, if you like rap, then you love R&B. So I will say that. Yeah, like I said, listening to No Love today, and I hope this doesn't offend you, but I was thinking of like, man, this is some Chris Brown stuff. Like he's like that. He sounds like that. Like when's
Wow.
his next album gonna come out so
For
I can
sure.
buy the CD and have it? But you're absolutely amazing, and I want to ask you this:
Yeah, for sure. Thank
put
you.
the music to the side. Like,
Right.
what about acting? I always want to know because a lot of you guys get into a lot of different things. Do you act? Have you got into that side of entertainment, or are you just like, this is what I do?
Well, no. So I during 2020, I was doing a freestyle, and then I rotoscoped a little scene, animation in one of my freestyles. I learned it on TikTok, and so I was like, oh, you should do more animation. That was cool. So then, kind of like studied how to do a certain style of animation, and I was just enjoying it because I think we was locked in, quarantine, having a good time.
Okay.
And I just made like a little silly little animated show, and I was like, man, that was fun. But I like storytelling, so it's just
Okay.
storytelling. And so I did the voices and all that. And so then I did more little skits here and there, and I would infuse my music in there. So it's just another outlet to express myself and tell stories. And so then I was doing more, and then I had this idea, and so I messaged my friend Antonio because I saw he was acting for real, not like me playing
No,
around.
yes, yes.
And he was like, "It's like, hey, bro, like, would you hop on this? Like, it's a little silly." Like, and he's like, "Man, I got you." And I was like, so then it legitimized what I was doing because I sent him the script like, man, just tell me it's straight enough to do. He'll say, because you for real. He trips out when I put him on this like pedestal. I'm like, no, you for real. Like this is a passion thing for me. So he's awesome. I did a
Yes.
whole little 5-part series that I have on a YouTube channel, and it's really
Okay.
silly, really funny. But I did all the animation with my friend Chris, my friend Tim, my brother Blair. It's a crazy little thing, and all the music, Sonics, I did that with. It's really fun. But that's storytelling, acting, all of that is in this
Right.
animation thing I do. And hip hop and animation are so tied together. It's kind of crazy. When I looked at the history of how many hip hop acts and artists have been tiptoeing animation from voices to having their own show, I was like, oh, this I don't feel weird about it. This is very commonplace,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So get into something fun. What do you do for fun on your downtime?
Right.
Because not everyone's like Lil Six here in Sacramento, who is just all the time. Six is working. He's always Six. Don't even have downtime.
Right.
He's doing something. You have to tell me that you have time where you just. I know you have a family, so obviously you're going to have time with the family.
Right.
How does that work?
I mean, I don't want to be like I feel them because it ain't no time. It's downtime. Yeah, it's really hard. But when I do, which is once every 6 months, it's I'll try to catch up on a video game, but it's really hard because it's true. Every day I'm writing new songs for clients every day, and it's been like that for almost 9 years, which is crazy. Wow. And I clocked how many songs I've done on Fiverr alone since 2016. It was 8,000 songs.
Really?
8,000. That number don't even make no sense to me. 8,000. That's not even my songs. That's 8,000 since 2016. So I was like, if I do the math, ding, 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 I was like, it got to be like 13, 14,000 songs I've done since I started making songs as a kid. But that was 8,000 since 2016. Just not ding, 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 ding. So that's if you do it, that's like doing a song a day since the year 2003. Since I was just like crazy. Yeah. So my brain has just been nonstop.
That's awesome though.
Putting rhyming words together, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very honored for it. But yeah, it really is no time. So but for the sake of answering the question, I try to play a little video game here and there when I can. But my family, my kids, I'll be trying to play with them. So yeah, that's
what game do you play when you play games?
Stuff that is not hard. I don't understand why people want to play challenges stuff, puzzles and all that. No. I'm playing Mario, Kirby. I'm playing like Mario Kart. Like, there's no losers. I mean, it is, but it's not a challenge. And I put it on easy mode, put it on no other cars. Like, if y'all got time to challenge yourself, this is a game called life. I'll tell you right now.
I'm not playing Elden Ring. I got it because I thought, you know what? I can do this. I can play Elden Ring. I can do seriously. I'm like, I'm going to be that player. I'm going to do this because I am a gamer. I'm a heavy gamer. But, Souls games are just a whole nother level. So I'm like, I'm going to do this. So I get Elden Ring. I can't wait. It's a beautiful world. I can't wait to play it. I get into this one section and I just can't stay alive. I've never played a game where I'm afraid. You know what I mean? Like I'm afraid. I'm afraid in a game. I'm afraid to move. I'm afraid to.
Right.
I finally had to I had to pull. Like I'll keep it just because it's a great game to have. It's a game of the year, I think. But as far as going in and playing it, I can't. The stress. I'm not trying to. It's too much.
Yeah. No. That's what I'm saying. Like, why they do that? Who want that?
What's game show? Why you want to? My kid is my kid is a professional gamer. Okay. Sure. He plays your Call of Duties and all that, right? He's great. But the fact that you'd want to put yourself through the stress like he's put himself through, the anger that I would hear come from his room, and not knowing that he's in a tournament but it makes them feel good. They love that hard challenge. To me, I'm not trying to do that. I play mini games. I play Call of Duty, but I play Recruit. Right. And I don't play online. I do not play online. I'm not playing online with you guys. You guys are horrible. Every time I respawn, I get a headshot. Yeah, so I'm a single player campaign, quiet.
Love it.
On the couch. I don't want to stress over games, but I admire you people that love to play hard games, but I'm just not that person. I did have a question for you.
For sure.
As a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
Are you real careful about protecting the person's identity? Do you have people that don't want anyone to know that you're writing for them?
Oh, for sure. It's sacred. Like I don't find any pride in like saying, yo, I wrote that. Because I see songs that I've written for people that have got millions of plays, viral. Right. And I'm just proud that I was able to, be to this point where my songwriting is like that. I don't take any pride in outing
Right.
the nah, because I mean
Right.
that's not why I do this. The process alone, and I see it as a bigger picture of like,
Okay.
you know, because I love and admire songwriters. I study them all day. I like looking at the history of people who wrote what. You know, I've kind of gotten to this Burt Bacharach trip of all the songs that he's written.
Really?
Yeah, I love Burt Bacharach. Yeah, like all the
Okay.
stuff he's done with the Carpenters. I
Right.
go into this catalog of Money Long, her stuff, Carrie
Okay.
Hilson,
Right.
Candy Burris,
Oh yeah.
Missy
Yeah.
Elliott.
Yeah.
I just love to see who pins stuff. Static
Right.
Major is one of my favorite writers from Playa, you know, work with
Okay.
Timberland. So I
Okay.
don't take no pride. It's kind of like a sacred oath that you take that I'm gonna put the song first. The
Right.
business will be handled, and what the song does and how it affects people is them. Because when you look at a Whitney Houston video or anybody, Rihanna, don't nobody say, man, Rihanna, let's use Rihanna. They don't say, man,
Right.
Party Next Door killed this song. No, they say,
Right.
I love this song by Rihanna. They don't say
Right.
who wrote it. So
Right.
you realize that a ghostwriter has to be humble enough to be like, this is your song.
Right.
People will connect it to you, and that's that. And I'm okay with that because I got my own stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got my own stuff too. So, but yeah, it's
But
a beautiful thing.
being that you are a writer, do you only write your stuff? Do you collab with other people and write together your stuff, or do you know?
Nah.
No, I didn't think so. I didn't think. Yeah,
Nah.
I didn't think. I'm gonna ask you
You,
that, but I didn't think so. I didn't
nah,
think
you
so
know
at
why?
all.
Because I know you mentioned R&B, which is I love. I'm
Yes.
actually my core is my foundation is R&B, but my core of my studying of just like ninja, like my training is
Okay.
hip hop. I studied
Okay.
bars, punchlines, all that. So I'm like, bro, if I ain't pin it, you ain't gonna hear me say it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I'm so stringent about it because then it's competitive. Like you can't write nothing better than me. And that, I know I just said I was humble, but there's an ego that's in me that's like,
Yes.
you can't write nothing better than me for me ever.
Right.
And that's cocky to say, but that's how I
But
feel.
is it not truth?
Yeah, that's
I've
how I
heard your
feel.
music. Like I said, you have a right to be cocky and all that because seriously,
I
you
appreciate
are
it.
doing things like you're. I consider you like you're street platinum. You know what I mean?
For
And
sure.
you
For
know what I
sure.
mean? Like
For sure.
and speaking of that, what do you think about like the fact that you are because you are independent?
For
Do
sure.
you
Yeah.
want to be signed? Are you one of those artists that I would love to be signed to a major label?
Mhm.
How do you feel about that as an artist?
It's looking kind of grim the way that they're doing these deals. I don't see it getting any better. I feel like being independent. I've been independent for a long time, and this has been so many perks. The perk of not being independent is you get more resources. That's the reason why when we talk about your top 5 favorite rappers, it's always somebody who was signed to a label. Always.
Right?
I
Yes. Yeah.
never heard nobody say underground. I never heard nobody say, man, I'm gonna tell you my top 5. My partner who raps. Nobody
Yeah.
says that.
True. Yeah. True. Very
And so
true.
if we're talking about talent and skill, it's not solely
Right.
based on that. It is a popularity thing. It is how you present yourself. Biggie is on that list. Not that he
Right.
wasn't nice, but he rocked Coogee sweaters. He had
Right.
platinum albums. So then he made an impact. So all of these things about how music affects people is kind of crazy. And I kind of studied how the reason why we love certain songs is because music is like sticky putty. Whenever you fall in love with a song, wherever you're at in life, is tied into that. It's interchangeable. It can't is so if like Renegade was popping back in TikTok
Right. Yeah.
during the
Yeah.
quarantine. So if you play Renegade, the first thing you think of is what you was doing during quarantine. You can't just listen to it without it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's
Right.
impossible. If you play 90s R&B, you're gonna be thinking of when you was like falling in love with it. Or
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
playing a song on piano by Stevie Wonder, My Sharia Moore, and somebody on my
Oh
live was like,
yeah.
oh, I remember my first love. So you're saying like
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't just listen to music just it doesn't happen. You listen to it
Right.
with your heart, with your emotions. And so that's why I said there's no such thing as better art, stronger art. It doesn't exist. It's all
Right.
just, you know,
I love
it's
that. I love that. And I think coming from a point of view of a fan, someone that listens to music, R&B, hip hop, whatever, and doing this show, coming, in contact with a lot of these artists that are like Tech Trey, like
yeah.
I'm like, to me, it's dope. Like, why isn't he signed? Why isn't you know what I mean?
Right,
And
right,
Affiliato, and like I said, Yum's Awkward, Hayla V, like all of
right.
these
Dope.
people I've come into contact with, I'm like, why aren't they signed to major labels? And then when you talk to them, it's kind of like what you're saying. It's kind of, that used to be the dream, but independent, I have more rights to this. And also the fact that the whole masters and someone owning your
Right.
music and can't
Right.
have, what's your thoughts on that? What would you tell young artists that want to be where you're at? What would you tell them the road that to take? Would it be take a deal or just try to stay independent?
I can only
That's
speak from
hard,
my
huh?
experience. I would say put the music first to a degree. I mean, chase the process and all that, but with business, you got to understand ownership is a powerful thing. Ownership, own as much as you can of the art that you make, and don't devalue it. I really, in the beginning, I devalued a lot of my contributions because I felt like I'm not that good. Like somebody else is better, so I'll take any deal. And as I kind of understood sync licensing, where you contribute your song and then they can put it on a commercial, this and that, and then there's residuals. I started to understand how that worked, and I was like, so maybe they do need artists for real. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I am valuable. And so don't ever like discredit your art as it's not valuable just because you posted and it got like 5 likes. That don't mean nothing. That means nothing. Your art is so valuable, and only you can decide when you want to choose to relinquish your art for monetary gain. But I would say be independent, and there's so many things you can learn via YouTube, and make sure you study it in tandem with understanding your craft. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a powerful thing. Ownership is everything.
Right. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Shout out to YNG Pharrell. You as well, man. You did it. You feel the same way. He's independent.
Yes.
He's a rap R&B artist out here in Sacramento, and he is
YG for real.
absolutely amazing as well. But he's another one where I'm like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
I would go buy I would wait in line to see you. And as far as seeing you in shows, how many shows do you do? Do you still do a lot of shows? What's your schedule like with that, with performing?
It's slowed down. A lot of it's virtual.
Okay.
I'll be aiming to do more within this coming year. But
Okay.
most of the time, you'll see me live, IG live, TikTok live, more so than pulling up to a show, because I'm mainly in the stew, and then I'm live on here. But no shows lined up just yet. But I have some things in the pipeline that might be kind of crazy. But I'll wait. I'll wait to reveal
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're welcome to come back to Rossie's Clubhouse,
Yes.
please. Please
Yeah.
come back. You guys, we've been
Yes.
speaking with Keybeaux. He's out of Houston, R&B rap artist. I mean, if you guys, if there's music that you want, if you need help songwriting, if you want production, anything, his links will be in the description of this video. Go to his account on Fiverr, his page.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is there for you. He explains everything, how it works, and how long does, if someone wants a song, how long does it take for them to get that song? Like if I ordered the song on Monday, what's the time frame of me getting a song?
The default is 3 days. That's
Okay.
what I put on there to give myself grace, because
Okay.
there'll be sometimes I'll get 10 songs and I gotta leave it, because it technically doesn't take me that long to make a song.
Okay.
But I have to put that. But you'll get it in 3 days, and I'm never ever late, ever. So yeah, it's 3 days. 3 days.
Well, it's been amazing talking to you. I'm so happy that we got together. I'm so happy that we did this.
Yes.
You are so welcome to come back to Rossie's Clubhouse. I mean, like seriously,
Thank
hit
you.
me up, Ross. Let's do a show, and I will schedule a show. Thank you, John DeGregorio, who is also a producer and director and editor. I mean, one of the editors of the show. Thank you so much, John, for making sure that the studio happened. I really appreciate you. You guys, I hope you all had a wonderful new year. On with 2025. May everything that you want in 2025 happen. Work hard, and it will happen for you. I also want to mention that on the 13th, I have an artist out of Sacramento. This guy is amazing. His name is Jakari Smith, and you guys just wait for this one. Jakari, I can't wait to sit down with you and meet you. I've been following you for some time. I love what you're doing. So you guys join us here. It's going to be live Monday. Monday, January 13th. Join Jakari and I here on Rossie's Clubhouse. Until then, guys, listen, I'm working on a couple of things. I'm working on an intro and an outro for the show. If you guys want to listen to our show, I'm up on all major podcast platforms. Listen to the interviews. You have a lot of classic interviews, and I hope you guys are liking our little segment of Rossie's Clubhouse classic interview segments, shorts that John has been putting up, and we have a lot more to share with you all. Until then, also, I do want to mention, let me not forget my girl, Misha DeSalle, the writer, director of Hidden in Plain Sight, a movie that Buddy Raming and I starred in. It's a great film. It's about history here in Sacramento, about the slaves that were brought from other states to Sacramento. It's an awesome film. And Buddy, congratulations to Buddy. He got best lead man in a film. And I thank you. Your girl got best actress in a film. Thank you very much. Misha. And so Misha's going to be here January 27th. She's doing big things here in Sacramento, and I can't wait to bring her on the show. So until then, we will see you guys later. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Keybeaux.
Yes.
And we are going to be out, you guys. Thank you so much.